I wasn't their child. At least, not the way they treated me. Growing up, I didn't have toys. I had chores. I didn't have birthdays. I had responsibilities. And I didn't have parents. I had owners. Clean faster, my mother would snap. Don't embarrass us in front of guests, my father would warn. Meanwhile, my younger sister Emma lived like a princess. New dresses. Private school. Endless attention. And me? I wore her old clothes, ate after everyone else finished, slept in the smallest room in the house. I used to wonder what I did wrong. Why I was treated like this. By every time I asked, the answer was the same. You should be grateful we even took you in. That line never made sense to me. Took me in? I was born into this family, wasn't I? Years passed like this. I stopped asking questions. I stopped expecting anything. I just worked. Cooked, cleaned, stayed invisible. Until the day Emma got engaged. That's when everything changed. The house transformed overnight. Decorations, guests, expensive catering. My parents suddenly acted like the perfect family. But behind the scenes, nothing changed for me. Make sure everything is spotless, my mother ordered. You'll stay in the kitchen during the event, my father added. No need for you to be seen. I nodded silently. I was used to it. On the day of the engagement party, the house was filled with laughter and music. I stayed in the back, serving food, clearing plates, avoiding attention. No one looked at me twice. To them, I was just staff. And honestly, that's how my own parents treated me too. Then it happened. I stepped into the main hall for just a second, carrying a tray of drinks. That's when a man across the room froze. The bride's father. He stared at me like he had seen a ghost. His eyes widened, his hand trembled slightly. And before I could even react, he started walking straight toward me. The room slowly quieted as he approached. His eyes never left my face. Where did you say you were from? He asked, his voice low but intense. I hesitated. No one had ever asked me that before. I live here, I said, glancing nervously at my parents. My father quickly stepped in, forcing a laugh. Oh, her? She just helps around the house, he said casually. But the man didn't even look at him. He kept staring at me. What's your name? He asked again. I swallowed. Aisha. The moment I said it, something changed in his expression. Shock, recognition, pain. He took a step closer. That's not possible, he whispered. My mother's face suddenly went pale. Sir, please, she said quickly, trying to interrupt. There must be some confusion. But it was too late. The man reached into his wallet and pulled out an old, slightly worn photograph. He held it next to my face. The resemblance was undeniable. Same eyes. Same features. The room went completely silent. This is my daughter, he said, his voice shaking. My heart stopped. What? I whispered. My parents froze. Emma looked confused. The guests began murmuring. This girl was taken from me years ago, he continued. She disappeared during a hospital mix-up. We searched for her everywhere. I felt like the ground disappeared beneath me. I looked at my parents. For the first time, they didn't have control. Tell me the truth, the man demanded. My father tried to speak, but no words came out. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Finally, she broke. We didn't know what to do, she whispered. We were told the baby we were supposed to take home didn't survive. My chest tightened. And then? The man pressed. She was there, alone, my mother said, her voice trembling. We brought her home. Brought her home? He repeated angrily. You stole her life. Silence. Heavy, crushing silence. Everything I believed, everything I lived, was a lie. I wasn't their daughter. I was never meant to be. And suddenly, everything made sense. The way they treated me. The distance. The cruelty. I wasn't unwanted. I was never theirs to begin with. And now, the truth was finally out. The silence in the room felt unbearable. Everyone was staring at me. At him. At my parents. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible anymore. The man stepped closer, his eyes filled with emotion. I've been looking for you for years, he said softly. My chest tightened. I don't even know you, I whispered. His expression broke, but he nodded. I know, but I know you're my daughter. For a moment, I didn't move. Then something inside me shifted. Not anger, not fear. Just clarity. I turned to my parents. The people who raised me. Or rather, the people who used me. Is it true? I asked quietly. They couldn't even look at me. That was my answer. Years of pain suddenly made sense. I wasn't worthless. I wasn't a mistake. I was just misplaced. The bride's father, my real father, took a slow step forward. Come with me, he said gently. Let me give you the life you were meant to have. I looked around the room one last time. At the house where I was never loved. At the people who never saw my worth. Then I did something no one expected. I smiled. Not out of happiness, but freedom. I'm not going back with you, I said calmly. Everyone froze. But why? He asked, shocked. Because I've already survived without anyone, I replied. I don't need a new life. I'll build my own. He stared at me, then slowly nodded. Respect replaced the shock in his eyes. I understand, he said, but if you ever need anything, I'll be here. I gave a small nod. Then I turned toward the door. My parents didn't stop me. They couldn't. Because for the first time, they had no control over me. As I stepped outside, the noise of the party faded behind me. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't walking away as a servant. I was walking away as someone who finally knew her worth. And that changed everything.